of Erie. It's personal. All of it's personal, Joel. It's not business.
It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at Fifth and State, also live on Facebook and YouTube. And we're learning about the opportunities here in this community to make investments in our assets. And that's why we've invited Todd Rebich to join us here from Rebich Investments. He is the new sponsor of the Liberty Park Amphitheater. And Todd, we welcome you to the show here. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. This is not only exciting to do the amphitheater deal, but really exciting to be with you, Joel.
Oh, that's really kind of you to say. We're a family show. We like to get origin stories. Tell us how you came up. Where'd you go to high school, college, all that stuff.
You really want all that?
Yeah, just
okay, I'll try to give you
the condensed version. What is it? The Reader's Digest condensed version. Right?
All right. So grew up in Beaver County. That's 20 miles north of Pittsburgh.
Sure.
A lot of people have heard of Aliquippa, Beaver Falls, down that way.
Did you play ball down there?
Yes, I did.
Football? Yeah.
Yes, I
Quippa?
did.
You were
football,
Quip?
basketball, baseball.
As a Quip?
No. I did time in Aliquippa, did time in Beaver Falls, graduated from a smaller school, Rochester, which is right in between.
I know Rochester.
So,
we all know the Whippeal, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, so
yes.
So I grew up there, projects kid.
Wow.
Single mother of 4. Dad was around. Dad was an immigrant. No one went to college. He wanted me to go to a great school. He had a head-on car collision the day before my senior year.
Oh, my goodness.
So I didn't play football. Had a coach that cared, got me into the best school I could get into using sports, and it was Allegheny College in Meadville.
Did you go to?
Yes, I did. And, you know, about a week into it, we realized I didn't write too well. I wrote well for Rochester, Pennsylvania, but not for Allegheny College. Went from that to graduating early. I was really desperate not to fail, and I became one of their better students. Graduated early, and actually that was my first foray into the investment industry. It kind of looked like the Wolf of Wall Street. You know, I didn't have mentors in that industry. My people sold beer. They worked in a steel mill. And, I didn't know what to ask. So a guy in front of me is saying, hey, I make $125,000 a year, and I'm 25 years old. I'm like, where do I sign? Wow. You know, that led to 6 months of really chaos, heartbreak, 300 phone calls a day. A lot of what you saw, what people would have seen in that movie, not quite as bad, but it rhymed. And really, at my age, I'm 56, that was the era that movie took place.
And you were, what, 20?
Say 21 in 1990.
Wow.
Yeah. So I literally...
Where do you get the chutzpah to just cold call people?
Well, it's hard. It's hard. And that's really what, aside from that, when I tell you the rest of my story...
Yes.
Let me get to that in
a
minute. Yeah. So I left thinking the whole industry was bad, because I had no one to tell me otherwise. And that cost me probably 7 or 8 years of career. I worked in beer. I got my master's degree, got married, worked in a steel mill. And I met someone that was my age that had a good start. So in 1999, I got offers from, at the time, it was Merrill Lynch, Dean Witter, and what was Payne Weber at the time, and Edward Jones. And, at that time, Jones was a relatively new company in Pennsylvania. I took that. I did knock on doors, about 250 doors. And that's where, for me, it was a kind of an internal desperation. And really I mentored a lot of people and trained a lot of people. And really it's the mental game. Nobody wants to make 300 phone calls. No one wants to knock on doors. But it's that battle, you against you. And if you win it, you do okay. And if you don't, you don't. And for me, it was that internal desperation. I got another shot. It might be my last shot. I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do.
Right.
So it all started with nothing, literally nothing, knocking on doors, and here we are today.
Wow. You felt like you had a knack for finance? I mean,
you know what?
While you're in the steel mill, you're thinking about numbers?
Yeah. Well, actually, yes. As a matter of fact, I wrote the bylaws for our union back then.
Did you?
Helped them get a 401k. But you know what? We didn't have much growing up. My dad bought me a mutual fund when I was like 5, 6, and he never invested, but he always pointed that out to me, and it kind of caught the interest. And through high school, through college, I just became very much in love with all that stuff.
How much, being in a place like Allegheny? Let's face it. I mean,
Allegheny College.
Yeah, that's an elite school.
Yeah.
I mean, is there some osmosis that goes there of okay, that kid is, the son of some financier or some banker or some
here's the thing,
industrialist,
right? It felt like a lot of the kids, their dads owned oil wells, driving BMWs when we weren't even allowed to have cars there, right? And then there's me. They had 1,400 in the SATs. I had 960, or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of that. And, I'll say this because I mentor a lot of young people because I don't want them going through what I went through, like 8 years of lost career. A lot of us have to change our sense of normal. Where I came from, it was a very different sense of normal. But, when you're in those senses of normal, it's comfortable, right? It's relaxing. And to cross over, you don't really willingly think you're doing it, but if you want more, in those times, those 4 years, I learned the most, but there was a lot of embarrassment. There was a lot of realizations because you're seeing other people's sense of normal. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
I mean, I grew up on 18th and Myrtle. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
So, and now trying to help people with that sometimes, it's hard because at some point you have to do some really hard things. And I'm not saying dishonest. I'm saying things like cut people loose or change your habits or whatever. And, but, it was lonely, changing my sense of normal, embarrassing at times because, look, I thought this was normal, and then I'm finding out, holy hell, what did they look at me like? You know what I mean? But no. So, but turning point, I told you I had a hard time writing. I was really good in math. I was a lazy high school student. I did what I needed to do to be one of the better ones, And what happens, I had the worst grade in my class freshman year, first semester calc, trimester. They were in trimesters. And I read the book, never did that in my life, word for word, studied it myself, wouldn't leave the page unless I knew the material, and I ended up getting the highest grade in the class. And at that point, at least academically, I knew I could. And I took off from there academically. The social stuff and all that was a learning experience. And, for not only through college, but there was a lot because you're living with these people that have a different and better sense of normal probably than where I was.
Has that commitment to study, to being a subject matter expert, kind of followed you through your career?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, even the lessons in college, think about this, the kid that does a presentation and does it last minute, he's looking at his notes all the time, versus the kid that actually knows his material, there's a big difference, right? And in our industry, I think the true masters, they know it. And not only that, but they can convey it in terms, not with jargon that confuse people, but with basic terms. My brother's a nuclear physicist. He can do that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but yeah, I think it has, definitely influenced our thoroughness at the firm, mine personally, but yeah.
I want to know, when you were in your 20s, was there a spark of looking for opportunities to serve the community? Because I feel like this, your sponsorship stuff comes from that,
Right. All right. Might get emotional. The answer is yes. I came from, I told you my dad had the car accident. He kind of devoted his life to serving. So at 21, I got out of college. He made me join the Lions Club. If the Lions raised $30,000, my dad Eli raised 15 of it.
Wow.
That's because he had brain damage as a result of that car accident. So he was never the same, couldn't work. So he did a lot with his church, did a lot, with community things. And he was an animal. He was a good salesperson. He just wouldn't take no for an answer. God forbid there be a hoagie sell. He'd sell 100, everyone else would sell 80. You know what I mean? So, but that is what started. And, that in my career, it just has always, and I came from a very Catholic family. Literally my grandfather's sisters had 5 nuns.
Wow.
Were 5 sisters that were all nuns, like that kind of Catholic family. Mm-hmm. And it was just, it was kind of born in me, the values. And then my dad really kind of solidified it. From 51 to 86, he just served and served and served. So now it comes naturally to me. And with my staff, they always tell me how grateful they are because there's something they don't know. Most people don't know about our staff. I'll get to that. But, I was afraid to do certain things like big deals for the community. And my cousin once said, just build it and they will come. And let me tell you, it's just we give more, we get more. And this, we're very blessed, and the firm has grown with that. As it relates to my staff, I could do nothing without them, and our clients as well. Obviously, they've been supportive on every philanthropic thing, every marketing thing, every business growth thing that we've done, and it's personal with those clients. If someone's giving you their livelihood, it's personal, right? But with the staff, all these projects we do or all these causes, we pick them together. People come at me first because obviously I started it, but 8 a.m. meeting, we're discussing these things and we vote. And my staff's very excited, and we've been written up on a number because I compensate my staff very different than most other firms. Mm-hmm. So we've been written up in a number of magazines for this. But we pick them together. We attend things together. We're doing a polar plunge on the happy hour polar plunge on April 11th. My whole staff will be there jumping in. We do that. If there's a gala, April 25th, they'll be there, right? We do it together. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know, I give my staff 20% of the profits.
Wow.
So if I do a $135,000 deal it's 27 of it's coming out of their pocket. And they're happy, and they're excited, and they're just grateful to be able to do stuff like this. We all are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I know that was a very long answer it took you. But early on, service has been a big thing. I don't live like if I don't, I'm not going to get something, right? But it seems coincidental that the more we've done, the more we've gotten.
You're seeing an equation.
Yeah, and as it relates to that's personal. I love Erie. My staff loves Erie. It's not just a place we live. We love it. We love the people. We love Liberty Park. Mm-hmm. In Liberty Park, we only do stuff we believe in. And we believe in the diversity of people that go there. It's just amazing. The diversity of stuff you do. The events they do. The diversity of people they help. Anytime there you could go to a rock concert, country concert, Philharmonic. You could catch a Pride festival. You could catch a beer festival. You could. There's a Heroes concert. There's the Heart Walk. Right. We're just really enthusiastic for what they do, for the community. I just think it's fantastic. My staff thinks it's fantastic. We're really excited, hopefully, about being a different type of sponsor, maybe a little more present, a little more engaged. We love it. We believe in that Liberty Park thing and what it can do. And my sense is Gus and the people at Erie Events are really going to try to do more with it.
We're talking to Todd Rebich, and we're going to take our first break here. You are tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We're learning about being able to take advantage of opportunities to invest into local assets here in our Erie community. Todd Rebich has been good at this for a long time, of Rebich Investments, and he's with us in studio here today. Todd, I want to stay with this topic here because, again, you have a sign at the Seawolves, you have a sign at the Otters, you sponsor the studios up at iHeart. I mean, again, we hear your name around.
Right.
You talked a little bit about motivation, but I want you to talk about the dollars and cents of it all, because I feel like, it makes good business sense to invest.
Here's the thing. You'll notice that a lot of my peers don't do much of this on the level we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's reasons. I can tell you, no one's ever, when I had the big signs at the Seawolves, no one ever said, "Hey, I'm doing business with you because I see your name there," or any of these things that we do. Now, we grow significantly faster than the average practice, and it's, we get like over 100 and some referrals a year, which is a really big number in our industry for one practice. I think, here's the thing. It's a good party. We have fun doing all these things. Our clients have fun because they, so I think it makes them stickier and they enjoy themselves, right? They see the good also. They're doing good. Look, it's just the right thing. I think when you're given more in life or you earn more in life, there's a responsibility to give back, right? And I think my staff believes that. That's the right thing. It feels good. I just had a little girl in my Otter suite the other night that needs a new heart. One of the best nights of my life.
Wow.
Oh. But the dollars and cents, here's where I think it might make sense. Being on the scene at a Bayhawks game, have I gotten to know people and gotten clients? Sure. I think our name now is very recognizable. Just from hearing it somewhere, you say Rebich, the Otters guy or the iHeart guy or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I think when people get referred to us, I think it's an easier referral because the name's recognizable and they come
top of mind awareness. It's basic marketing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think that's where, I don't think it's necessarily they did this because they heard that, but when they're kind of told, hey, you should talk to these guys, I think the familiarity, knowing what we do in the community, I think in our ability to do it, quite frankly, the stability of our company, it makes it for an easy,
Why do you think that some businesses don't do that? I mean, that don't buy, the season tickets at the ball game or whatever?
I'll be honest. I don't know if it's just Erie because I've made my home and my adult life here, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there with a lot more than us that aren't doing it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if they're just not feeling inclined to help. I have to believe that more that they're able to. Maybe they're so focused on their businesses or themselves. I don't know. But honestly, that point right there, I've pondered thousands of times.
Really?
And even going to certain fundraisers where the who's who, and you don't see the who's who, them wanting to be seen but not necessarily helping.
Well, we have a dilemma here in Erie because people that remember 30, 40 years ago when we had the banks that were headquartered here, and we had all the big businesses. I mean, we had the Zerns that were headquartered here. Lord's was headquartered. I mean, you think about it, we were just much more industrial and full of finance. It just isn't the same anymore. I mean, even the hospitals, we love the hospitals, but they're not headquartered here except Lecom, I mean. Right.
And I've done work with St. V's and Hammond.
Sure, yeah.
But no, I don't really... I just can't answer that.
Well, it's just that somebody has to fill in the gap or take the baton or whatever.
Because honestly, I know, like Gus has said from
Gus Pine from Erie Events.
From Erie Events that we've significantly over-impacted for the size of our company. You know what I mean? The stuff we do, and that's not to pat ourselves on the back, but it always makes me like, how did I get here? How did I do this? Trust me, I thank God every day that I'm able to do that. I mean, truly. But I also wonder, come on, people. Like, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm the one people are talking about. But I also wonder, like, why aren't others doing it?
Right.
And I don't want to throw too many stones. it's actually just an honest question. I wonder about that. So I don't really know. Or maybe they.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I'll say.
Yeah.
And I mean, people know the price tags, right, of what I do, and apparently that stops them. But in Erie, and this isn't Pittsburgh. You can do a lot of cool things because the prices are cheaper up here. You can do a lot of impactful things because the prices are cheaper up here. So I really don't know, but what I do up here, I certainly couldn't make the impacts in a bigger city. So I'm grateful for that as well.
We're talking to Todd Rebich. We got to go to the bottom of the hour news. Stay with us. It's Talk Erie. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We're talking about opportunities to invest into local assets around our town, and a name that you see about town and made news last week is Rebich Investments. Todd Rebich is with us here. They're the new sponsor of the Liberty Park Amphitheater, and got to put a sign up there on the
they're
marquee,
working.
right?
It's being worked on.
Okay,
yeah, it's being worked on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We've been talking about just the opportunities in general for being partners with the community, and the dollars and cents of it all, and also the kind of the public goodwill of it all, right?
I mean, look, we're a for-profit company, but
Sure.
when we do these things, we expect nothing to come of it, and we do it because we want to, because we believe in it. We were talking, Joe, off the air. We want to be a different type of sponsor, especially for Liberty Park. We're not a big corporation. This is not some line item that gets nixed at the first recession. This is something that we believe in, that we want.
And Erie isn't a pin on a map, frankly.
Yeah, no. This is our home.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love the people. And, we want to be present. We want to participate. Like a lot of these big corporations, when they sponsor, they don't participate probably as much as they could, because again, it's a big corporation.
What does that mean to you when you say participate?
Well, I'll give you an example. Early on in my Erie Seawolves relationship, and for a long period of time, great relationship. For any given night, we might have 100 tickets. Maybe it was a fireworks night or something.
Oh, okay.
All right.
These are tickets that you have under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, there was us and then Company X, which is a big national company. What you would see is we worked hard to fill those seats, all right, because we want to give them to our clients and make them happy. Where Company X didn't really care because it was just part of the deal, part of their budget, right? And, not only are there 100 people in the seats where there might be 10 with the other, but these people are spending money, at concessions, and then the company gets a piece of that as well. So actually, I encourage all local companies to do what they can and be a different type of sponsor. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the local companies, they do these things and they don't see the immediate bang for the buck. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it, right? But I think what happens, they don't have the wherewithal to stick it out when they don't see like an immediate return. And sometimes these things come over years and just getting to know people. But I think there's a lot to be said about the local company versus the large company if the local company can handle the responsibilities.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, you think about if you fill 100 seats at the ball game, that's a lot of concessions, and
do that 10
times.
Do that 10 times in a year.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? Or in a season, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's just one small example. They're buying merchandise. They're probably getting an interest, and now they're getting season tickets next year. It kind of goes and goes and goes. And it does the same thing for like a lot of our non-for-profit work. We get clients kind of connected, and maybe they go to a non-for-profit event, and then all of a sudden, they had fun. Next thing you know, this client's doing a scholarship in this, non-for-profit, or they're bringing a team next year because they had such a good time.
But I mean, what it takes to keep that widget going, whether it is in finance or in industry, service.
All three.
Some of these guys are just and women, men and women that are very, very busy. They don't have time. How do you strike that balance?
Well, remember that. I mean, that's not suggesting I'm not busy.
No, right, exactly.
Remember,
right?
we're up until yesterday, we were a company of 7 strong. 7. A lot of people think we're way bigger than we are in terms of manpower. We do a lot more than most do for our size, but we're very regimented. In what we do. I mean, in everything we do, and we work. Like I told you off the air, we work 6 days a week. So I think there's a lot of it. If you want to, you find a way to be regimented and you do more. Now, having said it, have I been on an airplane trying to fill a hockey suite? With text, absolutely. And I'm like, man, do I really want to do this?
Right.
But I mean, you got to want to do it. You got to be regimented. And I respect. We're all busy. We're all scratching and clawing, trying to make a living at whatever level we're at. I get all that, but I'm just challenging those people out there that if you really had the will, you might be able to find a way.
You've been able to build your business here in Erie. Do you think Erie's a pro-business community?
You know what? For us, it is, and I think largely it is. I mean,
you get support from the public sector.
Yeah, no, understand. We do business in every state in the country, I believe.
Sure.
However, it all started here. Mm-hmm. How did I get the guy in Alaska? Well, his sister lived in Edinburgh. And
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, how did I get the 401k in Rancho Cucamonga? Well, the owner's wife's brother, I knew.
It's that 1 or 2% of
or people
separation in Erie, right?
Yeah, but and we have a lot of business in locally, and I would say it is very pro-business. I think some people really go above and beyond to try to support local business as well. So the right local businesses.
Yeah.
But, not all people should be business owners. And there's that whole thing, So I think it's at least my understanding. Again, the office is in Edinburgh, but a lot of people think our office is in Erie because we have such a presence here. But I think in both communities, Erie County I think the people are pro-business. I don't really interact much with the government officials, so I can't really comment on that. Yeah. I can't say they're not, but
you haven't run into a whole lot of obstacles in trying to grow your business, basically.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And I just think, but I think the people, and again, we told you we love the people. I think the people are very pro-business here.
Do you, again, you talk to a lot of people on a day's time, your clients or your workers do too. What's the vibe about Erie right now? Because I'm 63 years old. We've been in decline my entire life.
Yeah. And I think there's different vibes.
Okay.
I think as it relates to economic growth, I think the vibe is that we're stagnant at best. And trying to get try to improve and move in the right direction. And like I said, that was one of the appeals with Gus down at Liberty Park. They're really trying to get more stuff going on there and more stuff.
They want to program.
Yeah, and you see certain things downtown here, people trying to redevelop. And so I think from an economic perspective, that's kind of, I think, what the buzz is. But, people are looking to try to turn this thing, which is a good thing. I think culturally, and we joke about me not being cultured, and I'm not. But, this is a fantastic town for entertainment, for culture. You don't I probably get hit 10 times a day for people wanting money, for fundraising.
Okay,
But I've gotten the opportunity to see recently, we threw a little support behind a comedy weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And a lot of grassroots stuff as well. But then you get the major acts too, at whether it's Warner Theater or Liberty Park or the arena. We have an amusement park. We have a beach. We have lots of great things here. We have a fantastic children's zoo. Well, I mean, it's not a children's zoo, but it's great for children. We have a lot of cool stuff culturally going on. And I think education-wise, I think we're pretty darn good there as well. I mean, in terms of colleges, stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
So, I think, the vibe is, I heard
but you're hearing from your clients that they're happy about Erie right now.
Yeah, I think, all right, without getting into political stuff.
Correct.
Because a lot of them may or may not be happy with certain political things going on. But I think they're content with Erie. I think that's fair to say. Some of my clients have businesses like mine that don't necessarily have to depend solely on Erie.
You're importing dollars.
Whether they're like a transportation broker or something like that. Yeah. You're here, but you don't necessarily need to be dependent here. But no, I think the most accurate from the people I talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
The other issue that we talk about a lot is workforce, and brain drain and young people staying and stuff.
And I've heard a statistic, I forget what it was, but like 25% or something of the college graduates are staying or something. If I get that wrong, I'm sorry. But
well, I mean, we have the
number.
equivalent of we have the equivalent of a D1 school between the four smaller schools, right? So that seems to be the issue. How many can we retain?
Right.
You can only take so many engineers, right?
Right.
Coming out of Barron and Gannon and so on, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of initiatives. 'Cause I can tell you, we're trying to hire. And
are you?
Yeah. We need to grow significantly the body count for us. And we're not pros at this. And we went from not talking to anyone to talking to a bunch of people, and it was kind of challenging. People's expectations for the jobs, things like that. And then, I've been fortunate enough working with a bunch of non-for-profits and some political folks. There's a lot of initiatives right now to get people trained in the things we need, whether it's healthcare or whether it's basic skills, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. So it isn't easy to hire, in my opinion. But, we're also knowing that you can only have so many engineers. There are some initiatives, not only to get people trained, but to also kind of get them to a new reality in life, to pull them out of things like, permanent,
Well, you hear the statistics of the rate of minority home ownership and, how many people have, more than a couple $100 in their savings account. I mean, that's reality from our neighbors here in Erie, right?
Right, and I mean the numbers get worse, like the average net worth of a 40-year-old, that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's much lower than one would think. We'll put it like that. I don't have the number exactly, so I'm not going to put it. But we just heard this number and wow. But then think of the people that are worse off than them. Half the people, which I could go down the path of a lot of conversations from there. So yeah,
it's one of those things that there's a real need for financial literacy. That's what's exciting about Erie Bank coming to Parade Street and so on, and some of the other the Erie's Black Wall Street. I mean, there's a lot of people in that space, right?
Right. And I was just about to say that I've talked to a few people whose sole businesses now are non-for-profit, trying to do financial literacy. Specifically in the minority space, some just in the lower socioeconomic space, right?
Breaking out of poverty.
Yeah, basically that's it, And
it sounds like that's kind of was your life story. A bit,
well,
right?
yeah, it was. Like I said, breaking out's not a simple or easy thing, and sometimes you can get people so far, but it's hard. And I heard this statement once: "Hard decisions, easy life. Easy decisions, hard life." And sometimes, look, even if you get everyone everything they need, sometimes it's the social factors that hold them back. And you'd be amazed at how many times that happens. I'm not suggesting we don't need the help and that populations don't need all the things. But I remember talking to a director of a nursing school and doing a fantastic job of getting people in poverty into the school, graduating them. And I'm like, okay, well, let's wait the next 3 years because you know what? That bad, there's still, say, a single mother of 5 with child, how are they going to handle the child care? How are they going to handle the bad spouse? How are they going to handle, let's see how this goes. Now, to their credit, they proved me wrong to a degree, right? And I hope that continues. But remember, there's a lot that goes into getting people out of poverty. And it's, yes, you can hand them things, but there's also the other stuff as well. The learning and the teaching and the living and, that kind of stuff. And really, I tell people, in the addict world, they say people, places, and things. But it's not just about that. It's about people changing their normal, too. And a lot of times, people won't cut loose. As much as someone may love you, they can also, pull you or keep you down.
Keep you locked down.
So hard decisions. But back to the subject at hand. Getting people trained. And it's hard to keep 500 engineers if we don't have jobs for 40.
Right. Yeah.
No, I get it. I do get it.
Yeah.
But I think in general, Erie is a good pro-business town. And I think, culturally, I think we stack up really well, pound for pound. I really do.
And it sounds like what maybe is one of the missing elements of all of this is the concept that, by being a sponsor, or getting your name on something, oftentimes there are residuals that you could really enjoy to build corporate culture. I mean, I wonder if people are recognizing that, hey, we can go to the ball game as a team, as our corporate team, as our office team, and have fun with it.
Well, I told you, look, if we spend, I don't know what the number, say, $100,000 on a project, my staff's paying 20 of it.
Yeah,
because they get 20% of the. Our culture, everyone's excited to do this stuff. I just said, hey, we don't have to go to this gala on April 25th. Everyone signed up in their plus ones. Do you know what I mean? Everyone did it, So I think it is important, and it's how you treat it. And I think it starts at the top of these organizations. You got to sincerely want to do it, But
so would you take a phone call from a CEO saying, hey, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
The sponsorship thing.
Yeah. And I
mean, we have CEOs that listen to this show.
Well, honestly, there was I did a podcast about 6 months ago with the company that we do our business with, kind of talking about that same thing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, there's enough out there for everybody. I don't feel threatened by anybody.
Right.
Competitor could be right next door, so be it. Right. And I have friends in this industry, good friends in the industry. So, no, but I would gladly tell them. It's just. I think we do things pretty unique, but at least in our industry. But I think you're right. I think there's opportunities, and hopefully more small businesses that can do it will take it. Because I do think they can make a bigger difference. All things being equal.
Yeah, you can have an outside difference.
Look, it's personal, right? It's personal. If I wanted billboards, I said this quote last week. If I wanted billboards, I would have called Lamar and had them billboard the lakefront, right? But that's not what I wanted, right? I wanted to help affect things in Erie socially. Look, they have, nice events for entertainment, for fundraising, for non-for-profits, for like the whole.
It's a great gathering space.
It's not only beautiful, but it's and it does great things. And we want to, so no, we didn't want the billboards. We wanted to do great things down there. And look, they're already doing it without us.
Yeah.
We're hoping we can help expand it,
We'll leave it there. Todd Rebich, congratulations.
Thank you.
On your sponsorship at Liberty Park there.
It's exciting and very humbling.
Yeah, good for you. I appreciated you sharing your story. That was really
well. Thanks
wonderful.
for asking.
You got it. It is 4:52. It's Talk Erie.